Sathya Sai Speaks, Volume 7, Chapter 9. From every throat his melody. This land of Bharat is indeed a holy country. Here the sages have sought to discover the means of peaceful life, of happy life in communities of men, of a type of life that will put an end to grief. They discovered and taught the Atma Vidya, science of the self, the chief component of which is prema, or love. God is where love is. Love expressed as sympathy, charity, reverence, affection, sacrifice. God is love. Premamaya, Prema Swarupa, Prema Bhaskara. Full of love, embodiment of love, son of love. As he is described by those who have realized him, so he can be attained only through love. Bhakti is defined as Parama Prema Swarupa, of the nature of the highest love. It is not blind love. It need not be blind love. I always advocate deep inquiry to strengthen the foundations of faith. Inquiry will only reinforce the springs of love. Can there be anything more lovable than God, who is beauty, strength, glory, fame, splendor, wisdom in their fullest bloom? Love of God creates in man the love for all examples of His majesty, His mercy, His magnificence, His manifoldness. Ramakrishna saw in a flower His charm. He saw everywhere His grandeur, heard from every throat His melody, His flute song. Even filth and wickedness are loved, for God allows them to be. Activity and devotion generate spiritual knowledge. The true Indian must have this love, inspiring and guiding him in all his actions. Bhagavat Rati, love towards God, is the sine qua non of the child of Bharata Mata. The very word means just that. The great men and women of this land did not waste their lives into the pursuit of earthly possessions, but cast them off as an encumbrance, hampering progress on the path to God. They abdicated thrones and kingdoms, renounced war, learnt philosophy on battlefields, and trekked far and wide in search of spiritual guides. Like men who had forgotten their names, they asked the wise who they were until they knew their identity. They did not ask all whom they met, as most men do, "Who are you?" but inquired from all the wise men they met, "Please tell me who I am." That is the way to acquire full content and peace. The I is the foundation on which you build your divinity and the mansion of Dharma, righteousness. This truth can be known through karma and upasana, activity and dedication, deeds and devotion, which purify and clarify. Just as water and fire get transformed into steam, which moves a locomotive and drags heavy wagons along the rails. Karma and upasana generate jnanam, spiritual knowledge, which moves man's life smoothly along the rails of peace and joy. Karma and upasana create detachment. They teach the true sense of values. Man learns that peace can be won only by withdrawing the mind from the objective world, not by allowing it to graze in the poisonous meadows of sensual pleasure. Saints had full faith in their destiny. When you are depressed by what appears to be loss or calamity, engage yourselves in namasmarana, the recitation and recollection of the names of the Lord. That will give you consolation, courage, and true perspective. Remember the distress and calamity that the saints underwent with enthusiastic welcome. And be calm during every storm. People laughed at them and called them mad, but they knew that they were in the hospital of God's grace, not the mental hospital of man. They had full faith in their destiny, and so they had full faith in God. They laughed when calamities tried to cow their eagerness, for they knew their latent strength of the Atma within. Now the pupils of the Veda Shastra Pathashala, School of Vedic Learning at Prashanti Nilayam, will enact a play on this stage before you. They have seldom acted before such vast multitudes. The drama they enact is saturated with adhyatmic, spiritual teachings. It depicts the sovereignty of bhakti, jnana, and faith. In easy, simple, and sweet song and dialogue, they will now reveal the inner significance of the devotion of Radha. A devotion that has been the target of criticism, bred by ignorance and perversity. The boys will also tell you many things about the spiritual endeavor that you have to make. If others of your own age say those things, you might be tempted to protest. But when children lisp the lessons, certainly you will love to take them to heart. Accept the lessons that this drama is intended to convey. Whatever be the defects in presentation and performance, listen in silence and patience. Watch with sympathy. The boys may get nervous if you show any neglect or want of attention. Take this as another sign of my grace and sit through the play in reverential attention. Martunga, Bombay, March 19th, 1967. It is always preferable to approach God for the fulfillment of wants, rather than cringe before men, who themselves are but tools in the hands of God. In His own silent way, God will transform the mind and turn it towards sadhana and successful spiritual pilgrimage. He cannot allow His children to lose their way and suffer in the jungle. When you approach God and seek His help and guidance, you have taken the first step to save yourself. You are then led to accept His will as your own. Thus, you achieve Shanti. Shri Sathya Sai Baba.